What's up, Facebook? It's Michael Ray. I'm here with my good buddy Stormy Warren. We are here at the live signing. First time this has ever happened in music. Stormy, you've done this before.
We've done it with books, for book releases, but this is cool. We are making history, not just you and me, Michael, but everybody watching. You are a part of technology history right now.
First time ever. I'm going to sign all 400 of these right here, but you know what? I'm not that good of a host, so I turned it over to my buddy here, who's a great host, who left out the fact that my man over here is talking about, it was a few book signing. It was a guy's name of Charlie Daniels that he was with last time. So
it was a big deal. That was cool. But this is a huge deal because not only are you signing your new album, Amos, this is the day it came out.
Today.
Midnight today, or this morning.
Midnight,
it was released. And you have been a busy boy. I mean, you've been working nonstop. The release week for an artist is insane.
Yes.
But the adrenaline keeps you going.
Absolutely. Someone texted me earlier, like, how tired are you? So I got up this morning for everybody watching. We did a thing called Satellite Radio Tour where I spoke to 50 radio stations in one room for 4 hours. And then I was at like 5 o'clock in the morning to 11. Everything's been going, but it's literally adrenaline. We were at the highway. What do y'all call it? That
you did the Music Row Happy Hour this afternoon. You were on our show
with Stormy this morning. And it's just been a great day. Awesome. Thank you guys for all the love that y'all have shown to Amos. My record out right now. If you haven't got it, y'all go get it. We just happen to have 400 freaking copies right here. Thanks to you guys for buying these. I'm going to turn this over to Stormy. I'm going to get to signing. Thank y'all for tuning in. And thank you, man. Hostess with the mostest right here.
That's it.
Yes, that's it.
So it's really cool that you asked me to do this because you and I have been friends for a while.
Yes.
And it's just, there's something about you that we just kind of click, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
We have the same weird brainwave.
Which is, we kind of figured that out this morning, and it's, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's great. We work at about the same pace. So if we're going too fast for you, tell us to slow down. And also, I'm going to be answering a lot of your questions. Well, he's going to be answering a lot of your questions. I'll be asking them. And then we got a fun game towards the end of this thing called 22 Questions in 2 Minutes. And yes, those are the things like, what kind of tree are you, boxers or briefs? All those fun questions that you...
I should have wore underwear. I'm kidding.
That's a good start. You have enough holes in your jeans, you probably should.
I should, yeah. Hopefully this will buy me some new jeans.
A lot of growth from your debut project to Amos. A lot has happened with you personally, professionally, everything, and it all comes out on these tracks.
On this record, yeah. I really feel like everybody that, when y'all hear, in all seriousness, this album, Amos...
Keep signing.
I think so. This way is great. I really believe that y'all will understand what's the last few years of my life, as well as, if you don't know who Amos is, he was my grandfather that taught my family country music. He's the one that started the family band. He's the one that passed down the love of country music. My dad and my uncle, my cousins, and that led to the Country Cousins band through the 80s.
What went on with the Country Cousins band?
My favorite part was when he made all my family wear matching clothes. That was my grandpa. The only guy that could ever make my dad and everybody else wear matching.
What were the outfits?
Oh, you can only imagine.
Yeah,
they had the button up, the whole deal. Everybody
Bolo
looked the same.
ties?
Oh, all of it.
Bolo ties.
All of it. Grandpa was rocking it. Dad wasn't so happy about it.
Well, Buck Owens always said, if you want to be a star, you got to look like a star.
Hey, they look like something.
What was the music? Was it all country standards, or was it everything?
Old country standards. They had some originals, but that's how I learned about Porter Wagner and Bobby Baird, Ray Price, and the Grand Ole Opry, and the importance of the Grand Ole Opry, and the men and women that paved the way for us to be where we're at right now as a genre.
Was it cool for you to be a traditional country music fan?
It was, because I think I didn't realize it, but growing up, and a lot of my friends were buying Limp Bizkit and Incubus and all this other rock bands, and I was buying Earl Thomas Conley's greatest hits, and so
which is a must-have for any playlist.
Yes, if you haven't got it, you got to get it. So I was the one kind of started to turn my friends on to a lot of that music, and I didn't realize that at the time, and I also didn't realize how much I was
holding her, loving you. Oh my God, that's so good.
Hardest thing I'll ever have to do. Holding Stormy and signing myself.
It's hard to do at the same time.
Yes.
Hard to do at the same time. But yeah, so did your friends go, man, what is this stuff? Were they curious, or did they kind of judge you a little bit?
Oh, they judged me. They judged pretty hard. But now they're all listening to it. You know what I mean? So I was out of the curve.
They're like, man, so this is the stuff you were listening to, and now we get it, man.
Now we get it, for sure.
What time did you make the decision to come up here?
To Nashville?
Yeah.
I moved 8 years ago, and it was at the time where we already had a lot of success as far as ticket sales. Regionally in Florida, and so it was one of those things where I called my dad and my grandfather, Amos, and I said, I don't know what to do. Florida isn't like a Texas. It's not like a Canada, where there's like a big music scene. I don't know where to go.
A lot of music history.
A lot of music history, and a lot of music's came. I mean, you got John Anderson, Sawyer Brown, Leonard Skinner. You go on and on with the great.
The Florida part of Florida Georgia Line.
The Florida part of Florida Georgia Line. Yeah, the Florida line. And it was before the whole face. So I was able to go back and play a lot of those places, and thanks to those. Bars and the people in my hometown in Lake County would come out and support me, and I was able to play there, and that allowed me to play shows in Mississippi and other places where they didn't know who the hell we were,
right?
And no one would show up, but we could go to Florida and sell a House of Blues,
supplement your
income. And we were all. It was literally like 5 people that were married. We just all kind of put the money in a pot and was like, how do we do this, guys? And we just all went after very old school, which a lot like how Loretta Lynn and her husband back in the day, they'd go around and bring their albums to the radio stations. And, and that was my only way of knowing how to do it. Was like, how do you do this? Well, Waylon did it this way, Hank did it this way. Let's just build it fan by fan, club by club. So
that's what you've been doing. And everybody gets found. Who found you?
I got found. So one of the places. It is, yeah. I didn't know I was lost. But one of the places where I was playing was at Boots and Buckles in Lakeland, Florida. And I went in, my buddy John, who's a great friend of mine, he's one of the owners, was one of the owners of Boots and Buckles. And so I'll go in there with my little press packet and the 10 fun facts about Michael and all the stuff that we used to have.
The bio,
what we had. And I said, hey man, my name is Michael Ray, and I just put a little band together. And at the time, I was coming back and forth to Nashville with my buddy Jeff Hurst, who was writing songs. Mm-hmm. He was my introduction to a lot of the Nashville guys and how I learned the Nashville number system and how I learned a lot of stuff in the studio.
Stop right there for a second. This is a little insider baseball, but there's a language that happens in the recording studios in Nashville. I've been here 25 years, and I still don't understand it. I get the philosophy behind it, but I don't understand it. Instead of little treble clefs and bars and notes and stuff, it's all numbers, diamonds, and
we countryside it.
It's about as simple as you can get for music.
It's it, man. It's a number system of to make it very.
And it started here in Nashville.
It started right here in Nashville. So I learned all that because Jeff was bringing me up. And I was learning all this stuff, and I met with a guy named David Preston at BMI. Who's the only dude that would meet with us. So
I believe he's logged in too. So
David, yes, hey Dave. David, I played him some songs, and that was my first ever meeting of any sort. And I said, hey, he goes, man, what do you plan on doing? I said, well, I'm saving up money. I'm playing, 4 or 5 nights a week. I'm also working a day job. I'm saving up money. I'm living at home and just wanting to move, and I'm going to move the end of this year. And he goes, don't, man. He goes, the way, and looking now back, that was 10 years ago.
He's a smart guy.
He said, man, he goes, the days of moving up to Nashville and getting a record deal from just doing a showcase are going to be done. You're going to have to prove yourself. He goes, I said, well, how do you do that? What do you do? He goes, go to Florida and become the biggest thing you could possibly become. Make Nashville take notice, and then move.
Come pack in your fan base.
Yes, absolutely. And thankfully, no one else would meet with me, so I had nobody to bounce that information off of. So on my way down, I put a band together with some of my dad's buddies and Jeff's buddies that they worked with at the fire department. And other band or musicians that I knew in town, and so I take my little press packet to Boots and Buckles, and I say, hey man, I'll play for free, whatever. I just want a shot. And so they booked me. I was opening for Jason Michael Carroll.
Oh my God!
It was a sold out show that night, and it was just one of those nights. Sometimes you get on stage and the energy's there. Everybody, you just feel it. Everything was on. Mm-hmm. Everybody was on. The band couldn't play a bad note. Everything I said was on. If you ever seen me live, that's not all the time there.
It's called being in the pocket.
It's being in the pocket. And so I walk off stage, and this lady comes up to me. She says, hey, can I have one of your CDs? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And next thing I know, I'm getting called and that I was on the radio, on this radio station in Lakeland. And I was like, what do you mean I'm on the radio station?
First time ever?
First time ever, yeah. And so
what song was it?
It was a song called A 23rd Psalm that Jeff Hurst ended up writing, with a guy named Joe Doyle, who wrote a lot of Alabama hits.
Oh, yeah, wow.
And so I was like, no way. And it ended up being the lady it was a lady named Sarah Michaels at 97.5 WPCV in Lakeland. And that kind of started snowballing the whole thing.
You'll never forget it, will you?
Never forget it. I was talking to her today. We were sharing this moment together with the fact that we have a second record and 2 number ones and 2 gold singles. It's just crazy how far everything's came to today. And Amos is out right now. And we're signing 400 copies of them for you guys. So.
His name is Michael Ray. I'm Stormy Warren. And this album is fantastic. I mean, great start. Get to You, Kiss Me in the Morning. Lots of good things have happened. When you went into the studio to do Amos, what did you want to bring to the table? I mean, people knew who you were, but there was still a little bit of gap in the connection of who you are as a person and as an artist. So is that the direction you wanted to go going in the studio?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to, the last couple of years of not only growing as an artist, but growing as a person and discovering, who I am and making sure that people...
Good, bad, and ugly.
Good, bad, and ugly, man. And all that came down to the fans giving you the confidence and giving me the confidence of knowing, hey, we're all on this journey together, and nobody's perfect, and we're all here to grow and to be better, and we're all here for one thing. And that's the passion of country music and what it does.
Well, isn't that what country music's about? Is the truth?
Absolutely.
And it's like if fans can see through an artist that is like painting a picture that isn't very accurate.
Right.
And so the more honest you are, the more approachable and the more endearing, and the more the connection is even stronger that way.
Absolutely.
And you found that out almost the hard way.
I did, man. I really did. And through all that, they had my back. And so for me, it was this record. I wanted people to know that. I wanted people to hear the influences of the traditional. I wanted people to be able to hear where I come from and to know that I realized I don't look like the guy that was probably jamming Heartaches by the Number, but I'm the guy jamming Heartaches by the Number. And so,
holding her,
loving you. And so I wanted people to know that, and I wanted to turn fans on to maybe some of the artists that they didn't know, because I was very fortunate to be raised around a family that introduced me to that genre of music, or that era of country music, I should say. And
it's not like you're doing those or you're not doing the covers of all those old stuff, but all those influences bleed through.
All these influences bleed through here, and I really think when people hear this, they're going to see it tells my story, which is why I wanted it to be called Amos, because my story, I feel, my musical journey was planted. That seed was planted way before I was ever thought of. When Amos got out of the Army, married my grandmother, then my dad and my uncle, they passed on that love of country music down to all of us in the family, and I believe that's where it all started.
Has there ever been a song written called Amos?
There hasn't, but there is talks about it.
There's got to be.
There will be.
I remember when I saw the track listing for the first time, I'm like, all right, let me know. I'm going to find this song Amos, because it's got to be on here, right?
And that's the funny thing. So with this record, there isn't like a grandfather song. It had nothing to do with that. It just had to do with, this is my story, and I want people to know
this is a grandfather album.
This is yes. And I wanted people to know that I want you to know who not only Michael Ray is, but who Michael Roach is.
Yeah.
The real everything down to the T. And I want you to know what I love and who I am and what I've done in the last couple of years, and really made that connection.
Were you ever going to be Michael Roach?
Michael Ray came out of nowhere, actually, from a I was working at this mom and pop music store called Music and Stuff in Tavares, and my first ever bar gig was at a place called Shays in Mount Dora. Mm-hmm. Shays is a you're just a good little biker bar area, and everybody goes to it, and it's a fun little spot. And however, I'd never played 4 hours on my own, and I really didn't know that much past 1960, at the time. And so my dad was like, bro, you should probably start learning some stuff, because Randy, the guy that owns Music and Stuff, me and him were talking about, hey man, so how do you do this? How do you start booking shows? How do you get Nashville to notice you? What do you do? And he goes, man, start playing bars. I go, I'm 17, 18 years old. I don't even know how to do this. And I went out, I had a lesson. I taught this lesson, and in the middle of this lesson, Bob from Shays that owned the place comes in and he goes, hey man, we need somebody for this Thursday. It was a Monday. Randy goes, I got the guy. So I leave. I tell the guy, tell the kid's parents, hey, you did great. Here's what he needs to do. Blah blah. We're sitting there, and Randy goes, hey man, what are you doing Thursday? And I said, nothing. He goes, perfect. You're playing Shays. And I said, with who? He goes, you. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I just booked you a show at Shays. You got a 4-hour gig. I said, I know 13 songs. I know 13 songs, and they're all Hank Sr. And
Hank Sr.
And I'm like,
you and Yodel Boy.
Yeah, me and Yodel Boy. I was the original Yodel. So here I am, two days. I got to learn 4 hours worth of material, and that's where the whole Michael Ray name came from. It's my real name is Michael Ray Roach, and so
sure.
And so they said he said that was on the marquee, and I ended up having, thank God for a guy named Donald, whose nickname was Beeper, who was this awesome old hippie guitar player guy that come into music and stuff all the time, and he has passed away since, but thanks to him and Randy and a guy named Mike Hartman and a few other guys that came in, my dad and everybody, we rigged up a system, and we just went, and I was
hardwired it.
I was scared to death, because every other time I play music, I was with my family. I had, you know what I mean? That comfort blanket back up. I could look over, there's grandpa, there's dad, there's my uncle, whatever. It's me, a kid with, people at their bar that they go to all the time, they frequent, that's their place. It's like Cheers,
sure.
In my hometown. So they ended up keeping me. I ended up getting a Thursday gig every
If you were to give yourself a review of that first night, the 4-hour gig at Shays, what would you?
My Yelp would have not been good. It would have not been a good Yelp review.
And so we go and practice, and we learn more songs.
That's it.
And songwriting came into your life when?
Man, when I was in middle school, I remember looking, getting these CDs and looking, going, "Hey, Dad, who's these? What's this name? Who's C. Beathard? Who's Jay Steele? Who's M. Criswell? Who's B. DePiro? C. Wiseman? All these guys." And so he goes, "These are the songwriters. A lot of there's men and women that moved to Nashville and they just want to write songs and they write, and sometimes in hopes that an artist would cut a song or maybe they write with them." And so then I would go to my mom's house. My parents are divorced, and my mom had a computer at her house. I seem very old right now.
Well, you had a computer.
I had one of them computers in my mom's room, and so I would start Googling these guys and realizing what they were doing, and then all of a sudden, C. Beathard and Jeffrey Steele were like the first two guys for me that were like, oh my God, they were writing everything I loved. All the Gary Allen stuff,
Rascal
Flatts, and Montgomery Gentry. All these great songs. I'm like, wow, what is this songwriting thing? And so then I started writing my own stuff, and then I got with we would have just like bonfire nights at my cousin Lee's house, and we would just, me and him and my dad and other cousins, his brother Ben and everybody, we just sit around and write songs and sit around a bonfire. And that's where I started honing my craft of songwriting, was with those guys and just around a bonfire just for fun. We'd have 7 dudes on a song, by the end of the night. But it was all just everybody's like, hey, I think that's a good line, and then you listen to them the next day. And we had some good ones that creeped out of there. But it was those times that I look back now and that was really honing my songwriting craft. And then when I met Jeff Hurst, it was just like this connection of writing songs, and he was already coming back and forth to Nashville, and he was a great writer in his own right. Without,
sorry,
I'm trying to sign.
Sorry, I'm just
he gets so nervous around me. It's embarrassing.
The shakies. I get the shakes. Speaking of songwriters, you look at the track listing here, and you look at the people who've jumped on board the Michael Ray bandwagon, because that's a big deal. Songwriters are very protective of where their songs end up. And sometimes with the artists that they don't know a lot about, you're not often going to get the best material.
Yes.
And to look at the writers that you have on here, you got some incredible writers who gave you some of their best material.
Man, the fact that, you got Shane McAnally, you got Josh Osborne, you got
Ross Copperman,
you got Emily Wiseman, you
Brad
got
Tersey,
you got the Old Dominion fellas, you got Jesse Alexander,
one of the best.
Red Akins,
Jaron Johnson,
Luke Laird, Ben Hayslip. This is their these are songs that they sat and created and took their own time and their own energy, and then and for them, and everybody in Nashville's dying to get a song from these guys.
Sure, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So for me to have them on my project, for them to know that and believe in me like they have, it's been unbelievable. And it's honestly, going into this record, I'm so confident in what we've done. I'm so confident in who I am as a person, as an artist, than I ever been in my life. To have them on top of it, believe in you, it's kind of like having that pat on your back from your parents. You know what I mean? I got your back, and it's really cool to have Nashville and the writers in on my corner. So
it's release day for this guy, Michael Ray. The album is called Amos, and a bunch of you have logged on and are playing around with us here. And we want to get to your questions. If you want this album, the premiercollectibles.com/Amos. premiercollectibles.com/Amos. That's where you can get it's Stormy STOR.
Gotcha. Yeah.
ST.
Love always.
Yeah.
You look great.
All right, we're going to get to some of your questions. You've been very patient. Thank you very much. We have Michael from Atco, New Jersey. He says, what's the best fan encounter you have ever had?
Best fan encounter I've ever had.
You told me a story this morning about one that really affected you in songwriting. About a gentleman who had been through.
Yes. A lot of this record. Some of these songs are from stories of fans that I've talked to, meet and greets, and you speak, and then fans that just come to shows and they end up becoming friends of yours. And so this one in particular time, this gentleman was talking to me about "Get to You" and how he said, this song saved my marriage. He said, I thought that it was her the whole time. And he goes, and it turned out, man, he goes, she sent the song to me and it was me. Mm-hmm. I was the one with the wall built up, and he said we split for a second. He said, I just honestly, he goes, I went out and did the things that you do. He said, but I just had a few nights where I just sat home and missed her, and and just kind of sat in the moment and really felt all the pain of her not being there, knowing that this would be my life without her, type of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want this. I know I don't want this. I don't want to come home and her not be there. So they rekindle things, and to hear that story, and then I hear a song called "I'm Gonna Miss You," and I go, there's a guy that I know that literally lived this exact song, and that's probably one of the coolest fan encounters. Anytime you can hear somebody put their own life story into your music, it's awesome.
Not only life story, you've changed people's lives with your music, and that's kind of the goal of an artist or a songwriter to begin with. You want to get to the soul of your listeners and know that you had some sort of an effect.
Absolutely, and when that happens, I mean, you're in people's cars, you're you're in there on their weekends. You're on there. You're one of my favorite stories was this guy comes up to me. He says, "Man, I want you to meet my wife." And I said, "I'll meet her." And he goes, "We wouldn't be together if it wasn't for you." I said,
What?
"Y'all meet at a concert?" He goes, "Sort of." He said, "We were at this bar and I think Little Les was playing. I was telling my buddy, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to that lady, and he said, well, listen to the song, man. Stop overthinking and go do it." He said, and that was right around Think Little Les came out, and about a year and a half later, they're married and having a kid.
How many people got their jump start into their relationship because of that song?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
We're going to move on to some more questions. Hello, Jamie from your home state of Florida.
Oh,
from
awesome.
Jacksonville, hometown of Leonard
Leonard
Skinner.
Skinner.
Is your musical career so far, would you say, in your musical career so far, would you say, who's been the one person you have been most awestruck by so far? I know I'm right here. But
Stormy.
I know I'm right here.
Stormy, it's. I've accidentally misspelled my name 3 times since you've been sitting here. Honestly, I had the most awkward encounter with Justin Timberlake, and it was my fault. Completely my fault. CMA's the whole massive Chris Stapleton night of just everybody realizing that I need. Yeah, it was the first time everybody in Nashville called their vocal trainers, and we're like, hey, we need to step this up a little bit. Justin Timberlake comes walking across. I'm on the 3rd row, close to the end. Stormy, I approached Justin as if he would remember me. I had never met him. Yeah, I was like, and I was moving people. I was like, hey, real quick, hey, Justin, hey. And he said, hey, I'm Justin. And I said, I'm Michael. And that was it. Yeah. And
so that would be the awkward moment.
That was my awkward moment. Yeah, it was with Justin Timberlake at the CMA Awards.
It is so funny with the celebrities. We feel like we know you. And even if we've never met you, we feel like you're our friends. So it's like that first meeting can be really awkward. Yeah. It's just like, hey, there he is, my person that I've never met before.
What do I say? Yeah, absolutely.
Randy from PCB, Panama City Beach.
Panama City Beach.
The infamous Spinnakers. It says, what was it like playing Spinnakers?
My first time playing Spinnakers was with Big and Rich.
Oh,
so if you could only imagine Spinnakers.
And it's still standing?
With Big and Rich. I'm surprised I'm still standing. It was awesome, man. It was just, and honestly, being from Florida, that was my first time going to spring break at PCB. Because we always had, New Smyrna's right down the road, Daytona. You go to the Gulf and Tampa and everything. So it was awesome, man. It was one of the coolest moments to be there. It was like right at that time where I hadn't signed my record deal yet. And so I just kind of started seeing this reaction of some of the music. John and I just had recently wrote Run Away With You.
Oh my God.
A few weeks before this, actually. And he surprised me, and this band learned it, and so I got up there and sang it. And it was just a really cool moment.
Yeah, that song ended up to be one of the 4 of the quadrilogy videos for Big and Rich, too,
yes.
didn't it? Yeah, that was incredible. Moving along, if you don't mind. Tammy, where do you aspire to be in your career 5 years from now?
Arenas, Tammy. We're going to arenas, baby. Load it up. Chesney, I'm coming.
Come on.
That's where I want to be. I want to be, honestly, I want to continue to be making music. I want to continue to have the connection with the fans that we have, and I just want to see this whole thing grow and this whole journey. That's what I want, and our goals, obviously, the arenas and making this thing as big as we possibly can. But making records and making albums like Amos that I'll be proud of looking back on for the rest of my life. That's my goal, and to constantly have this connection that we have with the fans and have them spread the word like y'all have and make it grow like you've made it grow.
We're going to get to your summer plans, including some of those arenas and amphitheaters and things later this year, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about, you launched this album with a song called Fangirl.
Yes.
And
you can hear on the highway.
Which we play a lot on the highway, which is awesome. But it's really, as we mentioned this morning, it's kind of just a tribute to every head you see, every face you see out in that crowd.
It is, whenever I first heard Fangirl, I thought this embodies our live show. If you've never came and seen us and you want to know what it's like just by hearing it, go listen to Fangirl. Yeah. It's just that energy, and that's why we started the set. We've been starting the set with that song and with Fangirl, and then it just made sense to make this record when we were doing the sequencing to have it kick off the album. And so we wanted to make this sequencing like a set list. And I got those ideas from like listening to Tim McGraw records, Kenny Chesney records, Keith Urban. Those records.
Sequencing is key.
It's key, and you feel like you've been at the show, and you put it in your car and you plug it in however you listen to it, and it's just like, man, you close your eyes, you feel like you're at a show right there. Mm-hmm. And
it's a journey.
It's a journey, and it takes you on the ups and downs and the whole deal. And so, Fangirl, I also fell in love with the fact that it is about the fans, but it's also the whole thing's about a guy that's just so in awe of his girl that she's with him. He's like, yo, you make me feel like I'm front row. Like you are my favorite band. You know, you are as great as it gets, and I'm just happy to be in the entourage type of thing. So
cool.
It's really cool.
A lot of nostalgia on this album, not only sonically, that which you touched on with a lot of older sounds and older inspirations, but lyrically, you flash back to a lot of first loves, a lot of lost loves, a lot of unrequited loves. That seems to be a common theme of this album.
Yes. Well, Stormy, if you're going to make a country record, get married or get broken up with. I'm not married.
And you have both songs on here.
Yes, I have all. Yes, and I have. If you're going through any of it, Amos has it for you. I think that had to do a lot with the healing and the stepping out of a comfort zone to show a vulnerable side of. A lot of times, it's not easy for a guy to show that side, and the fans have made it easy for me to be able to do that. And hearing their stories of their own situations, what they're going through and what they've been through, and I wanted to be honest and know that, hey, the last couple of years haven't been easy, and especially
rough breakups
and everything that's been going on. So it's on this record, and I know that if I lived it, my fans have lived it, and we can go through it and learn and heal from it together.
On the happier side, you have "Dancing Forever," which probably is going to be the wedding song of the century.
Dude, that song. So you're "Dancing Forever." We go through the one of the last parts of the recording process is vocals. So you do the vocals and the harmonies, and then it's all mix and master, and you're done. We've cut the song. Whole band, everything. I'm in the studio, and I got two older sisters, Ryan and Christina, who are probably watching this, and I got my nephews and my niece, and they're, my two older sisters are married, great men, they got great families, and I got my little sister Brittany, who is beautiful and in her late 20s, and I know that someday some very respectful young gentleman.
Are you a protective big brother?
Hell yeah, I'm a protective big brother. But however, my two older sisters, this is the best part about being the only boy in my family.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry. They're like, you going to protect your older sisters? I go, bro, you're going to hope I show up. Like, if them two get a hold of you, you're going to pray I come out. Yeah, you're going to need some off of you.
Don't worry about me.
Don't worry about me. I'm your angel coming in. But just knowing that day will come, and just, one of the cool things about country music is a lot of times the lyrics will hit you a little later. They all kind of connect, and you're like, holy cow. And then just in my mind, I'm doing the vocals, and I hear the song and the lyrics back, and I start thinking of my dad and my little sister and her first dance with my dad, and I start crying in the vocal booth, and I'm texting my dad and my sister and Scott, and just my producer's like, you good, dude? Like, what's going on?
Where'd you go?
Yeah, where are you at right now? And it's just kind of became that song that everybody wants to know that there's somebody out there. We all have somebody, whether it be a family member, friend, neighbor, whomever, that just wants to see you shine. They just want to see Stormy do his thing. You don't even have to talk to him all the time. Just know that there's no hidden agenda. They just want to see. They hope that you go dance forever, shine, turn all the bad into good, and write your name in the sky. So
it's so cool. Amos is the name of the album, and we're going to get back to your questions now. I know you guys have been waiting patiently. Linda says, if Amos were here today, what advice do you think he would have for you now and for the future?
My grandfather was part of the generation where I feel like they had the one-liners where they didn't say a lot, but they said everything. So it was a lot of the things that my grandfather would say is, make sure on the way up you stop once in a while, just taking the view and realize that you might not feel like where you're at. You might feel like you should be here, but look how far you've came. And it's way further than what you think.
Yep.
And sometimes you got to just take that in, no matter what you're doing, whether it's music, whether it's creating a business, whether it's anything in life. I feel like that works for you. It's like, man, you might not be in your mind where you want to be, but you're exactly where the universe and God want you to be.
Sure.
And if you look up, you've really came a far way from where you started, and the old you would have given anything to be where the new you's at.
Absolutely. It's like hiking up a mountain. It's always easier to look down, so you don't worry about where you're going.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But then it's fun to look up and go, holy cow, look how high up we are now.
Yeah, absolutely, man, for sure. So I think that's one of the common things that my grandpa would always tell us, all of us grandkids, but especially me, because I was moving and going and on the road and kind of living what he instilled in all of us. And we always joked. I think my grandpa Amos it was like process of elimination with us grandkids of who was going to be the music. It was
right.
Like Ryan came first. I think he put a guitar in her hands. He was like, all right, I don't think she's going to like that. Okay, Christina comes. He's like, all right, let's try that. I don't think she's into it. Then I come along. He's like, boy, I got you. You have no choice.
You have been chosen.
You've been picked. Yeah.
You're talking about the not many words. He seems like the kind of guy that would, if you said, man, Grandpa, I don't know. I don't want to get burned out doing this career. His advice would be, well, then don't.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and his biggest thing was whenever I called him to move, and him and my dad both was like, it's a whole lot easier to look back at 30 and spend your 20s trying to get somewhere than to look back at 50 or 60 and go, shit, man, I wonder what would have happened if I would have done this.
No regrets.
That's it.
No regrets. This is going to be fun. You ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Hey, Brian. I think we got Brian on the phone. Is that correct?
Oh, Brian on the phone? Brian, what's up?
Hey, Michael.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing? Where you calling from?
Calling from New Jersey.
New Jersey.
hey, man.
Brian from New Jersey. How you doing, pal?
I appreciate you calling.
I was just curious. So, yeah, I'm sure you had many photos to choose from on your cover. Just what made you choose that one?
I wanted to really grab the reflection of my grandfather being there, and on this, what you see on the nightstand or the dresser is a photo of my grandfather that, he was a guitar player, wasn't a singer, but he's an unbelievable guitar player, and all guitar players have like that face. John Mayer, all the dudes have that face that they use, and Grandpa had his, and somebody snapped this photo at a family event at my Uncle Mickey and Aunt Reenie's get-together that they had at their house, and he's playing the guitar that he passed down to me, and the watch in this is a watch that he got after he retired from the phone company of 50 years that, by the way, Brian has not worked in 15 years.
Yeah, what's on the nightstand?
And so we kept that, and that's a Bible, because there was always a Bible always around my grandparents' house. He always had a mirror on the nightstand, and a cup of coffee, because whenever you woke up in my grandparents' house, you'd smell black coffee making, you'd smell grits, eggs, bacon. That's what you woke up to, and then he had the ashtray where he put all his change in, and so we just wanted to paint that photo, and we picked the photo in front of it because it's just always in life I felt like I was always looking back for approval or to make sure that he was there. And,
sure.
And so the reflection of this, the front of this record, I felt really said that in this photo.
There's kind of an ode to Garth Brooks with this picture. One of his album covers, he's got that same kind of over the shoulder.
Oh, yes.
And you're kind of wondering if he's scared. What is he looking at? Is he frightened for what's coming?
Yeah, he was like, I was honestly looking out the window for the food to get here. I'll be honest with you. No, but yeah, it was that's why, man. That's a great question too. I appreciate that, Brian. That's that whole photo in a nutshell. Is, that's the stuff that when I see, I think of him, and then there's just kind of that look back of always knowing that he was always going to be there.
Brian, I want to say that it's a really good question because it's not often asked, the inspiration behind the artwork of an album, which is a really important part of the process.
It is, and we made it. We wanted to make sure this record was a piece of art. So when you get it, you open it up. There's family photos. There's pictures of my grandfather. There's pictures of my family. There's little kid photos of me. So everything in this Amos package is authentic photos that I got from my grandparents. My dad sent it to me. My mom sent it to me. My grandparents' wedding photos in there.
It's amazing. It's like your personal photo album.
So it's a personal photo album. There's a signature to Ray, Love Grandpa, that my grandfather signed on the CD that he made. That's his handwriting, and that's his handwriting. That's the signature over there. So everything
so cool.
Everything in it is real and authentic and comes straight from the Roach family shrine.
Hey Brian, are you a big Michael Ray fan, or are you just getting started?
Big fan.
Oh, thanks, man.
Whenever we get a chance up here in the Northeast, we'll definitely try to catch a show.
I appreciate it, Brian. You let me know when, man. I'd love to meet you.
All right.
I appreciate it, buddy.
You gonna get? Did you get the album yet?
Not yet.
Oh, Brian! Oh, he did.
He got it.
He got it.
You got it. That's how we're talking to you right now. So we got you, man.
Obviously, if you're watching, you got the album.
We appreciate you, brother. Have a good day, buddy. You too, man. Thanks.
PremierCollectibles.com/Amos. That's where you can get your CDs as well. That was cool.
That was awesome, man.
That was great.
Yeah.
Going to get to more of your questions. Did you ever try the garbage plate when you were in Rochester, New York in October? If not, let's go get one when you come back in October. I'm not sure what the garbage plate is. That's Ashley in New York.
Actually, I did not. So a couple of my band members did. The garbage plate is, I think it's just, is it fries? And it's like a lot of food piled in one thing.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. It got me confused because there's this little mom and pop restaurant that I grew up going to called Jeannie's in my hometown. Miss Karen was a waitress, and I went there my whole life. And my Uncle Terry created this omelet called the garbage omelet, and it's literally everything you can put in an omelet. So when they said that, I was like,
Kitchen
yeah, I've had
sink.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
everything.
kitchen sink.
Everything possible, yeah.
We used to call it burrito glop in college. It's where you just, whatever was still in the fridge, you put it in the pot, stirred it up, and put it in a tortilla.
Yes.
And that's basically it. Kelsey in Webster, Florida. A lot of Florida
A lot of
people.
Florida.
Yeah.
Florida's showing up. I love it.
I'm going to ask this question. Would you ever write a song for first responders / military because you have family members who are first responders? Do you have family members who are first responders? I am a firefighter for the villages.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Kelsey, thank you for being a first responder. Actually, everybody in my family. My grandfather was a volunteer firefighter at Amos. My grandmother's a volunteer firefighter. My dad's a paramedic firefighter. My uncle is an EMT firefighter. My stepmom's an RN. My stepdad's a cop, captain of the sheriff's office. So.
And you're a country singer.
And I'm yeah. Some people veer off a little bit for me. It's their own path. You know what I mean? Yeah, I pick my own damn path. So actually I do, and there's a song on this record called "Drink One From Me" that closes out this album, Amos record, that is about our soldiers and our military. And I also recorded this song with a lot of the stories that my dad and his buddies that I grew up with I'd hear them talk about kind of what they saw and how hard it was for them to have to shut that off and see something that none of us could ever imagine seeing. You seeing the worst of the worst.
You can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it, and then you have to take it away, try to push it back in your head, and go to the next call.
Get it from here to here.
Put it here, yeah. And man, I remember, Kelsey, I'm sure you will relate to this. I remember being a kid and not understanding when I was a kid, but obviously getting older as an adult and understanding why my dad would call my grandparents' house or my mom's house or whatever, and it'd be late at night, and my grandpa would wake me up, and he'd say, "Hey, your dad's on the phone," and I'd wake up, and I'm 10 years old. I'm like, "Hello," and he's like, "You good?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "All right, love you, bye." And I'm like, "Why?" And later on, he just went through something that reminded him of me, and so there's a song on here called "Drink One From Me" for our military, for our first responders. So Kelsey, thank you, and you tell everybody that you work with. We love you guys, and thank y'all for all that you do for keeping all of us safe. And the villages, that was my grandpa and I used to put the phone lines in the villages.
No way.
Yeah, a lot of the telephone lines and the Cat 5 cables, your boy put them in.
Michael Ray was a lineman
For the county.
Lots of questions about your dog. Jessica and Linda both want to ask about your dog.
Wrigley.
So Jessica from New Jersey, Linda from North Point, Florida. So will you ever get a friend for Wrigley to play with?
I'm gonna have to get a girlfriend first, man. It's taking forever. I gotta get. It's hard on a man to have a career and a dog at the same time. I can't have two. I'm gonna have to have someone to back it up. Buffy, my manager's having to take care of me too. I can't put a dog on her as well. Yeah, so maybe one day, but I'm gonna need a companion.
Yeah, right. You're not gonna split focus.
I can't split focus.
Wrigley has been a huge inspiration behind your charity arm too.
Yes, yeah. So I created a foundation called Wrigley Cares. Once I adopted Wrigley, and the photos of this beautiful all-white German Shepherd Husky with bright blue eyes goes out, all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh, just throwing gifts at her," right?
Right.
I was a little mad because it took me forever to get a bus.
To get a present.
To get a gift.
Yes.
Yeah. And here I am now, this dog, she's had a segment on CMT. I'm like, it took me 10 years to get any notice of CMT.
You're jealous of your dog.
I'm jealous of my dog, and the life that I created for her.
Right.
And so, anyway, so fans started bringing
Wait
toys.
till you have kids.
Again, I got to get a wife first. It's a step process. I read
Right,
in the
I
book.
understand.
The fans started bringing these bags of toys and treats and food and all that stuff. And I mean, if you get bags of those with 4 nights in a row, you're rolling Petco by the end of the 4 days. And so I thought, well, if they're going to do this for my dog, what will they do for their own people and their own charity and their own shelters in their own backyard?
Yeah.
And so we created Wrigley Cares and partnered with Zappos for Good and
Zappos, the shoe distributors.
Yes, the shoe distributors. And so they would connect us to a local shelter in every tour stop, and we would ask fans to bring whatever they felt they would bring, and there was no limit, there was no minimum, just bring whatever you felt in your heart you wanted to bring it. So as country music fans do, when you ask, they show up passionate and they show up ready. So 4 weeks later, we surpassed over 100,000 meals, and it's been growing rapidly to now Puma comes involved, the shoe company, and I just designed a shoe with Puma that's out right now. You can go to Zappos.com, and 100% of the proceeds go to Wrigley Cares.
And it's cool, you know. You hear that? It's like, what does a shoe have to do with dogs? Really, nothing. But it's It's a custom designed shoe that you got to do. It's
Absolutely.
camouflage. It's really cool. And actually, I want a pair. I actually looked to your manager just before we went on the air, and I said, "Can you hold it size 12?"
I got you.
Yeah, I'll pay for it.
Okay.
It's got to go to the Wrigley Foundation. So, but I definitely would like. They're really cool looking shoes.
Thank you. You know,
And they sell out quickly, so we're waiting for the next batch to come in.
they are. Yeah, the majority of them are already gone already. So it's been a really cool thing.
Will you re-up the orders?
I hope so. I hope that's what we. I think we will. I'm really hoping that we do.
Let's take a look at Kathy's question from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. How often do you take a break from writing, recording throughout the year, and where is your favorite place to go to get away from the stress of your hectic life? I think I know the answer to this.
I love Chicago.
Chicago.
I love going to Chicago.
I thought you were going to say the gym.
I love going to the gym. That was my second thing. This is why he's doing this with me, guys. We're on the same thing. For me, what I learned and what we talked about this morning on the highway was learning how to deal with anxiety and stress, and knowing that no matter what you do, and especially if it's something that you're trying to create and grow, you got to have that time for yourself. You have to have that little bit of time, because if you're not mentally right or not physically right, then you're doing nobody good you're not doing any good for anybody that's working for you or with you to help create your dream and make it a reality.
And namely yourself.
And then yourself. Yeah. So, and I feel like it's easy, especially for us guys, to kind of go, I'll just self-diagnose myself. I'm good, you know.
Good.
And so for me, I battled anxiety my whole life, not knowing that's what I was, and a lot of things were happening, and just really
You had a scare with your dad.
I had a scare with my dad with a second open heart surgery, and so for me, it was once he was fine, and I knew that, you know what, I'm so blessed to have my dad still with us, and good Lord willing, and everything's fine. You know, I could have him for the next 30 years, and everything will be good. And I don't have to see him go through what a lot of people have to see their loved ones go through, and very fortunate for that. And so for me, it's going to the gym. I tell everybody on time, give me an hour, you're gonna have the other 23. I'm good. I just need that hour to kind of.
Amazing advice. It's simple. It's like if you just take we used to do a thing on the show called Take Your Friday Back. It really was a metaphor for that whole thing of just take the moment, press the reset button, just feel a little bit like the machine is stopping for a couple of seconds.
You have to. It's so important in whatever you do. So to answer your question, honestly, mainly the gym. And if I go to a destination, I like to go to Chicago.
What about Chicago do you like?
I just love
Wrigley.
the city. I love the city. You know, and traveling around, being able to travel like we're doing, you get to some places, you just go, holy crap.
This is home.
I love this place.
Yeah.
And like, for me, it's like as soon as that plane lands, you know, now I've got some great friends there, and I'm a big Cubs fan and always have been. And so now I got some friends there, and I've got to know a lot of people there, and going there, it's just like peace. I don't know what it is.
It's a great feeling. You feel at home.
It is, man. And of course, you know, going to Lake County and seeing the family is obviously a very important thing. But sometimes just to get away for a little bit and go there, I just love the city. I love their heritage. I love how they've kept the heritage. I love on opening day of Cubs, everybody's there.
There's nothing like that feeling.
Nothing like it,
man.
And
the city shuts down, and it's
everybody does.
Sitting on the rooftops, and there's nothing like it. Chicago is a great town. Speaking of your father, you're talking about, your father is watching right now. I believe that they're having a little party for you in your hometown.
I heard that. So rumor has it that they're having their own CD release party, I think at Ruby Street.
I think you need to get your phone out.
We got my phone over there. Let's see if Ryan will answer. He's probably watching this himself.
Oh, this is going to be really funny. Michael Ray is here. The album's called Amos.
Guys, I can't promise what they're going to answer.
It doesn't matter. It's worth it. You'd be bummed if you didn't try.
Oh, yeah.
And we're all going to do this together.
Look, they literally, 20 minutes ago, 2 songs to go. FaceTime the fam in 15 minutes.
Well, perfect.
Perfect, Ryan.
Perfect time. Here it comes. We're all going to FaceTime together.
Let's see where they're at.
Come on, Ryan. Ryan Ruby Street.
I don't know how to spell Verregan, his last name.
So it's just Ryan Ruby Street.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
Thank you. I named it.
Come on, Ryan.
Come on, Ryan. Don't let me down. My fans are
God, you son of a...
Don't let me down right now, Ryan. I swear to God,
You
Ryan.
worthless,
You son
absolute,
good God,
no
Ryan.
good, dirty,
Come on, Ryan.
rotten.
Ryan. Damn it, Ryan.
God, Ryan.
This is embarrassing. Damn it.
Moving on. Oh, that was horrible.
Now he's got, you know what? See what Dad's doing.
It's probably loud. You know, you're having a
Don't
party.
make excuses.
It's really loud.
It's a party
inside
for
this
me
bar.
that I'm not even at.
What's the first thing you notice about a girl Marsha wants to know? Great question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
You know it's a great question when you get the...
Yeah, honestly, a smile of a woman, I think it just that grabs my attention right away.
Wow, that's a good answer.
Yeah, thank
good
you.
answer. Are you going to try another number?
I'm gonna try my dad.
Come
My
on,
dad
Dad.
doesn't answer, then this is embarrassing.
This is going to be. Oh, this would be horrible.
Yeah. Come on, Dad. Dad, not you too, Dad.
You're
I'm
watching
his
live
only son.
on
I'm your only son, Dad.
PremierCollectibles.com.
The least you can do is answer. If my family doesn't answer me,
It's a big day for your son, Dad.
I happen to have a record out, Dad.
It might be like. Oh.
Hey, Dad!
Hey, so,
Hey,
look,
Dad!
there's
Look,
Dad.
you're on Facebook Live. Are y'all? Hey, is that Ryan behind you?
Yes.
Hey, Ryan, you just embarrassed me and all my fans.
We're having your album release party.
That's why I'm FaceTiming you. That's why I'm FaceTiming you. You're on Facebook Live right now. Say hey to Stormy Warren.
Facebook Live?
Yeah,
Yes,
say hey to
you are.
Stormy Warren.
Hang on,
bud.
let me get my...
You get some makeup.
Yeah, you good?
Oh my gosh.
Camera ready. I'm
Like
signing,
father, like son.
I'm signing 400 CDs, and we heard that y'all were having an album release party.
Look at that beautiful backyard.
That's what we're doing.
Awesome.
If-
We're
if-
at Ryan's house. We got 3 more songs to do. What we've been doing is we play a song, and then we got 5 minutes to discuss the song.
Whoa.
Discuss how much we love it. And how much we believe that everybody in the world is discussing and listening and watching the same songs, and how they feel about each song. That's what we're doing tonight.
Who needs hype men when you have your dad?
Dude,
This is great.
yeah.
All right, now let's be honest, Dad. Which song on this album sucks the most?
My God, dude.
He says number. He's like 1 through 11.
What?
Yeah.
This is
We
awesome.
turned it off. I'm listening to Gary Allen. Right?
Said he's listening to Gary Allen
They
right now
already turned
instead.
it off.
Hey, Dad, while you're here, there's only a few 100,000 people watching on Premier's Collectibles. I want to know what the moment was you saw that this was going to be your son's path and when you were okay with it.
Oh my God. I saw it when he was probably 10 or 11 years old, when he decided that to come out of his bedroom and play me a song that he had written, and it blew me away.
Wow.
And I realized that he could play the guitar twice as good as I could at 10 or 11 years old. And so that's when I quit, and I knew that. And then when he was 16 or 17, he come up to me, and I'll never forget it. We were in the kitchen of our house, and he said, I think I want to give this music thing a try. And I've been scolded for this many, many times by parents.
Look at us now, Dad. Look at us now.
Look at us now. I've been scolded, but I told him, I said, the only thing I can see is in music, is it's not the best, it's not the worst, I don't know what the right or reason is, but you just can't have a plan B, dude. You can't have a plan B.
Listen
it
to
is
this.
plan A or die. And he said, okay.
Pretty
and he
dramatic,
went out
but
and
yes,
did
that's
it.
exactly what he said.
Hey, will you be
And
my
I got
father?
cussed out by a lot of parents for that. But guess what? My son's got 2 gold records and a badass new album.
Thanks for answering, Dad. Tell Ryan I need those passes back since he didn't answer earlier.
Okay, I will.
Enjoy the album release party, Dad.
Hey, look behind me. Can you see him?
Oh, that's my logo on a sticker. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, it's a full-on.
it's a full party.
They're not just listening; they're critiquing
They're
the
critiquing
album.
my record. That's my uncle. Hey, I love you guys.
We love you.
You guys see it.
Thanks, Stormy.
See you, bud.
See you. Bye.
Call us back.
Okay.
Bye.
He looks like he's maybe 3 years older than you. He's a young-looking dude.
Yeah, well, thank God for the second open heart surgery.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really
No
did him
kidding.
well,
He
honestly.
looks really great.
Thank you, man. It was that moment of him coming out of that surgery, and he literally looked 10 years younger 24 hours later. And we're just like,
Wow.
and that's when we found out like how fortunate we were. The last 5 years were
Basically a
way more
widowmaker and-
waiting to happen. I mean, the fact that he's still with us is an unbelievable thing. So
And the fact that you could FaceTime him on your album release day, I mean,
unbelievable, man.
never take that for granted.
No, it was-
never take that for granted. I mean, just to hear the emotion in his voice and his voice cracking, so proud of his boy.
Thanks, man.
That is one of the coolest things ever. That was special. All right, you are ready for the rapid fire questions.
Oh yeah.
And you really suck at the signing thing because you get like 3 more stacks to
I
do.
just had to talk to my dad.
I don't care. You got a job. One job.
My
You've got
family,
one
freaking
job.
Stormy.
You know what I'm amazed with is your signature has not changed. It's the exact same one every single time. You're very consistent with your signature. Oh, let's show the. Oh, look at that.
This is my signature. And by the way, we're having to open these so I can sign them. Silly. So when you get them, they might be open, but it's because they'll definitely be open. But it's because I'm signing them.
His DNA is on every CD. Just think about that for a minute. All right, here we go. This is 22 questions in 2 minutes.
All right, while signing.
Yes. Where were you born?
Eustis, Florida.
Who would you want to play in a movie? Who would you want to play you in a movie?
Clint Eastwood.
Good luck. Oh, what was your first job?
My first job was working for my grandfather, Amos, with his telephone company.
What is your greatest accomplishment?
This record right here.
Ah, good answer. Good answer. You mean Amos? That's
Amos.
out right now? What is your biggest fear?
Failure.
Ooh. You know how you stop failure? Never quit.
Win. Oh,
Never quit.
Never.
Who makes you laugh the most?
My band.
What is the one thing you need to have in your fridge at all times?
Mixers.
Mixers for what's in the cupboard.
Tito's vodka.
Tito's vodka. And also, we just killed a bag of pistachios. So
It was-
we
yeah,
did
sure.
that. Well, you just answered this one. What is your favorite adult beverage?
Tito's vodka.
I love Tito's. Look, actually, cheers.
Cheers. We actually have some right here.
Cheers. Cheers.
I'll get back to signing.
Shout out. Who's the most interesting person you met recently?
Post Malone.
Really? Mm-hmm. I'm fascinated with that guy. Should I be?
Yes, absolutely. He's great.
Someone, I think it was Luke Combs said, he goes, what you see is not always what you get. It's like that, the image that he has, he's a much more down-to-earth, just chilled out guy.
He has no clue he's one of the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah,
He's
right.
so chill, so cool, and the way that he handled every fan and that his knowledge of country music blew me away.
Huge.
Blew me away.
Huge. You can tell in his music, too,
Yes.
by the way. I'm a huge Post Malone fan. What is your middle name?
Ray. Michael Ray. Ray's my middle name.
There you go. What is your biggest pet peeve? Dumb questions.
Dudes that wear suits at the airport going through security. Your meeting isn't as soon as you land. It's not. You ain't got to wear the tie. Let's get through security.
You've thought about that one.
Daily.
Wear the gym shorts.
Wear
it's
the gym
okay.
shorts, bro. Your meeting isn't that fast.
They
I
make
promise you.
hanging bags for a
Hang
reason.
it. You got a guy like me that's procrastinated the whole time, and I'm about to miss my damn flight. I need you to go.
What's your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby? Probably working out.
Working out is a hobby.
I don't know if it's a hobby, but I also like going on the boat and drinking Tito's.
There we go. That's a good. And what is your guilty pleasure? Going on the boat.
Going
and
on the boat drinking Tito's.
Come on, you got a cheesy guilty pleasure.
Reese's.
Reese's
And
peanut
ice cream. Oh my God, I can eat my weight.
Do you have any hidden talents?
Oh, I wish. Good God, do I wish. I do have a Guinness Book of World Records.
For what?
I was a part of the most sparklers lit at one time during the 4th of July.
Does the record still stand?
Heck yeah, we took it from Japan.
How many?
690 something. I got the plaque in my house.
You have got to be kidding.
I will not lie about this. I will lie about some things for me, but a Guinness Book of World Records, you do not lie.
Did you have the witness there to sign off on it?
Oh yeah.
Like a real Guinness person to sign off
Oh
on
yeah,
it?
she was there. I got the whole thing certified and all.
I hate you now. What color is your toothbrush?
Green and white.
So's mine.
It started out all white. I don't get it.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that offended.
that's-
That was the one.
Wow. Did we mention that his DNA is on every CD? What is your worst habit?
Saying, do you know what I mean?
Do you really?
Yes, all the time. I don't realize I do it. My dad calls me out all the time.
My wife yells at me for do what? Do what? Do I say do what? She wants to punch me in the face. What is your favorite thing to cook?
I love to grill on my Traeger. Anything on a grill I love.
What is the one thing you were a master at on the grill?
Chicken.
Really?
Yes.
Not always the easiest thing.
Not always the easiest.
What is the last album you bought?
Post Malone.
Post Malone. What is the last gift you gave?
I
just got a bottle of wine.
Yeah, I just gave Stormy a bottle of wine, and there's something else in there for you.
Oh, ooh. We haven't opened the bag yet. What cause is dear to your heart? We talked about that.
Wrigley Cares.
And all kinds of furry
All the
friends.
furry adoptions.
Name anything on your bucket list?
Become a Grand Ole Opry member.
Go.
It's pretty high up there, but that's
Wow, and you actually did an event where you stood on the circle of the Opry and got to do it across all Opry platforms, streaming, and just to be on that circle in front of an intimate crowd of what 70 people, you said?
70 some people. It was the first time in 90 years that the Opry has allowed someone to go on there and stream their album and debut their album from the circle. It was one of the heaviest moments of my career.
I've heard people vaguely describe the feeling. What is the exact feeling in a songwriter's terminology of what it feels like to stand in that circle?
It's the most powerful. You feel every cowboy boot, every set of high heels that have stepped on that circle.
That's the best description I've ever heard. That is brilliant. Where do you want to go that you've never been?
Italy.
Italy. What about Italy?
Wine.
That's why we get along so well. Man, this has been a blast. You're still going to keep signing even though we sign off. And this is Michael Ray, and the album is called Amos, and it's really, really good.
Thank you, guys.
This is there's no BS on this. This is the truth, 3/4 of the truth. That's what's on this record, and it's cool. What you see is what you get, and it personally too. I mean, you hear him talk about his struggles with anxiety. You hear him talk about his trouble with his love life. It's all out there in the open. What you see is what you get, and that connection is there with the fans, and I see it all the time.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for doing this, man. You're a busy man. I appreciate you,
I
man.
wouldn't have missed this. And tell your dad that was so cool.
I will. I'm glad he was there.
I got a little choked up watching that. That kind of got me a little bit. That's cool. His name is Michael Ray. The album is Amos. My name is Stormy Warren. And thank you to PremierCollectibles.com /Amos. If you want to go tell your friends to go pick a copy up. They're going fast. They're really fast. Every one of these has parts of his DNA on it. Thank you all. Thanks for watching.
Love you guys. Thank you.